ahem. I'm a terrible witch. I don't pay attention to the moon. I don't do spells. I don't do rituals. I'm horrible. What am I gonna do? Does this sound familiar? Do you say these things to yourself quite often? I do. At least I used to. It's tough. It's tough when you take up being a witchy type person and you want to do everything under the sun and you just want to be a full-time witch. But how do you fit it into your everyday, mundane, kind of dull, ho-hum life, right? That's the main question. Well, I thought about that the other day, and I came up with 10 ways you can, or we can, fit in more witchy things in our lives on an everyday basis. So stay tuned and you will hear all about what I came up with. Alright everybody, hey there, Witch Hazel again. So, 10 things you can do in your life every day to bring more magic into the ho-hum everyday routine. Now, I do have notes, so I will be looking at my notes, but I sat and thought about it, and I thought, what are the most common things we witchy folk like to focus on? And those include things like incense, oils, brews, potions, esbats, rituals, you name it, herbs, crystals, all of that. Alright, so we like all of that stuff. We like working with all that stuff. How can we do that when we have really busy everyday schedules? You know, maybe we have busy work schedules, maybe we have families, maybe we've got kids to deal with, we've got all sorts of things going on. So how do we fit this into our everyday if we're not used to doing that already? I made mention in my Wheel of the Year video that this can be really difficult because, at least for ritual, getting ritual as not every day, but as a part of your spiritual practice, because for many of us it was not ingrained into us like, say, the Christian holidays or the Catholics have holidays like every day, or the Jewish holidays. And, you know, when we grow up with it, it's second nature. But when we're taking on this lifestyle and these things into our life that we want to do, we have trouble fitting them in. We have trouble figuring out, how am I going to do this? So, here's some things to start with. I have these listed out in order of like my typical day. So, getting ready for my day in the morning, getting dressed, going out to work if you go out to work, or at least getting ready for work, and then the end of the day. So that's how I've kind of put this all together. And I started out with getting ready for my day, okay? Washing up, getting dressed. I've got perfume oils, okay? So most of us women at least wear perfumes. The guys might wear cologne. I have my trademark perfume I wear on normal days. One thing you might consider doing is, if you have altar oils or perfume oils, maybe that you've blended yourself or that you've gotten from a metaphysical shop, something that you enjoy, that you like, think about the properties of those oils and how they might relate to your everyday. So for example, if I want to assign correspondences to my days, I would use probably things like the moon for Monday, the sun for Sunday, Tyr for Tuesday, Thor for Thursday, because I follow the Norse pantheon, Venus or Frigg for, I guess it would be Freya. I consider them kind of the same, the dual aspects, but Freya for Friday, and anything like that. Assign goddesses or gods or other correspondences to your days. Think about what things for those correspondences relate to things you have on hand, i.e. oils. On Sunday, I actually really like lemon and clove as a mix for essential oils. I have that in a diffuser often. So maybe I want to wear that as a perfume one day. Remember to use your carrier oil. Some of the oils can be very kind of caustic to the skin. But I knew someone once in one of my jobs, she wore clove oil all the time as a perfume. So you could do something like that. Next thing I have here, jewelry. So when you're putting on your jewelry, I tend to wear the same couple of pieces all the time. I swap out my earrings. So in this case, I could have moonstone earrings and I have a moonstone ring, but wear that stuff on Mondays. I could wear my gold jewelry on Sundays. I could wear something amethyst on Wednesdays, for example. And when you do that, you could go a step further and not just, wear those things because that's the day, but remind yourself why you're wearing those things. What is the correspondence you're going for? What is the magical property that you are trying to amplify by doing that day? So jewelry is another item. Clothing, colors. You can add in colors to your day, again, depending on what colors you associate with different days. Or maybe, for example, the moon phases. Like I would so totally do it with my scarves. I don't have a whole lot of scarves right now. I just kind of depleted my backstock. But I could wear a white scarf for the full moon and a black one for the new moon. I could combine colors based off of moon and other correspondences for the day. So if I do purple for Wednesday, it goes with amethyst, and maybe the moon is waxing, so I'll do white and purple scarves and wear my amethyst jewelry, something like that. Or for the girls out there, if you want to take note of your moon cycle, maybe on certain days you wear red. I knew someone, I can't remember where I heard about it, but someone who would wear a red skirt on the certain days of the month. So you could factor in color magic into the things that you wear every day. It also, if you have a routine where you wear certain things on certain days, it makes it so much easier to figure out what you're going to wear for the day. I personally only have 1 week's worth of clothing at any given time. This is because of all my traveling I do, and because I just don't like having so much stuff around. I have found that 1 week's worth of clothing is perfectly fine. I do laundry on Sunday, and then I'm good. So anyway, but colors can be added in that way. I also have here, self-care rituals. So the one that I have had the most success with continuing over time is my face routine. I don't have an extensive routine, but basically I mix up a cleansing oil with different oils and essential oils. And usually at least once a week, it would be better if I do 2 or 3 times a week, I will cleanse my face with this oil. And that can be a process of doing something witchy, because I don't generally have a whole lot of time to actually sit and give myself a full facial or a ritual bath or all these things I would love to do, so totally love to do it, but we're talking about things we can do on a regular basis. So if you mix up some self-care item, whether it's a cleansing oil or a perfume or whatever else you do, if you do it by hand and you do it with intent, then that could be a little piece of magic you add into your daily routine, even when you don't have a whole lot of time. Doing my cleansing oil takes like 5 minutes during everything else I'm doing to prepare for my day in the morning. So you could do something like that. All right, so then I go on to, I have one item here, tea. So I think what I thought of here was if you pack a lunch for going off to work, which I try to do, you can also pack something like maybe a tea that you've blended. Or if you don't blend your own teas, maybe your favorite tea. Take a little time to think about, why is it your favorite? Is it medicinal? What are the ingredients in there that call to you? And you can do a little bit of back research when you have time on the herbs, what their properties are and why they're included in this tea. Because very often there's a reason why each of the herbs is included. So pack yourself a little tea bag or a little bit of homemade tea, whatever you want to do, but pack it with purpose. Okay, and then on your way to work, I think this one I first heard of reading Christopher Penczak's books. He mentioned like casting in a protective bubble around your car when you're commuting to and from work. So you could do something like that. And that includes, it's energy work, it's potentially spell casting, but you can do that sort of thing as well. Now, I don't have anything else for travel, but things like that you can use. Also, I have my necklace in the car. So that's like a little talisman or charm that I keep in the car for protection. Same thing goes for prayers and spells. So at any point during the day, you can include a little prayer or a little mini spell. I think of prayers and spells as interchangeable. Spells we often think have to include things like candles and herbs and incense and all of that. But in essence, if we distill it all down, it's energy. And so we can, theoretically, just incant, send something out into the world as a little prayer and cast a spell that way. You can do that for protection as you head off on your commute. You can do that when you get to work, saying, I'm going to have a great day, I'm going to be really productive, I'm going to accomplish my goals, and that can be spell work if you make it so, if you believe it's spell work, if you put the intent and the energy into it. So you can do that all throughout the day. And also, if you're able to, you may not be at work depending on what kind of things you write, but ink. So I work from home and I'm currently writing and publishing. This is a change from doing teaching. I'm kind of taking a break from that at the moment, but because I don't have to turn in my writing to anyone, I can play around with inks. I've basically used up the ink in this one, but I had a beautiful kind of blue-black shimmer ink in here. Shimmer inks are wonderful. I love shimmer inks. Can you think of anything more magical than a sparkly ink? I can't. So you can choose your ink color based off of your intent. You can choose to add glitter to your ink if you get shimmery inks. You can choose to, I got a couple of scented inks. Can't really smell them, but you could scent inks, that sort of thing. Anything like that can add a magical aspect to your writing. I also heard recently that the color blue is easier for the mind to remember. I don't know if that's true or not, but you can choose your ink based off of something like that. I could write with a green ink if I'm writing my finances in my ledger. I could write with, red ink if I'm writing about my journal, my moon journal. I could use red ink in there. So you can play again with colors and with different properties of inks throughout your day, if you're able to do that. All right, color. Okay, and then the last couple of items I have are for the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you've gotten home, you've cast your little protective bubble and taken it down again, all of that. And you get home, you feed the cat, you water the plants, and you get ready for bed, right? Well, what are our pets if they are not our familiars, right? So, what are our plants if not magically connected to the divine? Remember that we as witches are very much connected, or should be very much connected, to the earth and all of its creatures. Plant life, animal life. Remember that when you're interacting with any other living things in your home, whether that's the cat or dog, whether that's the flower pot, whatever it is. Keep that in mind. Maybe chat a little bit with your plants when you water them. Maybe chat a little bit with your pet when you're feeding them, or spend a little extra time giving them some love. See what kind of a telepathic connection you can make with your pets. Keep that in mind and do it with intent. We can make everything magical if it's done with intent. And lastly, so now you're ready for bed. You did everything in reverse order and you're getting ready to wind down. This is the time that you can take a few minutes to review your day, see how it went, give thanks to the divine for all the things that went well, even the things that didn't go well. Rephrase it. Maybe you got into an altercation with somebody at work, it really irritated you, but you can think about it and you can see how you learned from that. You can see how you can potentially grow from that and give thanks for that. Thank you for pointing this out to me. Thank you for letting me see how I can learn and grow from this. And I'm looking forward to actually doing that learning and growing, to take action to learn from this. So everything throughout the day, if you can say thanks for it, say thanks for it. Gratitude, it's a big thing. Saying thanks, a big thing. Last minute prayers, send those up there too, to protect you as you sleep, to make you the person you need to be for continuing on your work in this world tomorrow. Keep it in mind. And that way, hopefully you can head off to sleep knowing that your day is complete, your day went well. If you're giving thanks, it's kind of a last positive energy moment. Even if your day went badly, you can kind of lift yourself up by doing this last little gratitude portion before bed, and you can sleep calmly, hopefully. If you need some tea to help with that, again, go to your herbs, chamomile and lavender, and again, think about how those things are witchy and you're adding them into your day. All right, so I've been blathering on for several minutes here, but those were my 10 items of things you can do every day to be more witchy in the mundane, to see your spiritual life as it unfolds in your day simply by just acknowledging it and purposely putting it out into your life. It doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to be a huge ritual or a spell with 10 different ingredients. It's energy work. And you can add this in at any point during your day, every day. So I hope you enjoyed my little list. If any of you have anything to add, please put that down in the comments below, and we can all kind of mix and match and find our best way to add magic into every day. Thanks very much for watching, and blessed be.